The cadets laughed when the numbers appeared. A perfect, mocking 0 hovered above the combat arena, projected in cold blue light by the Coalition's most advanced holographic systems. 73 cadets from 18 species sat in tiered seating around the simulator pit, their varied eyes, sensors, and sensory membranes all fixed on the same display. Power output 0, psionic activity 0, bio enhancement now 0, neural link optimization 0. Is that a joke? Someone snorted. At the edge of the arena stood Hale Mercer, hands relaxed at her sides, dark hair pulled back tight in regulation Earth military fashion. Her fatigues looked crude beside the crystalline armor of the Velcron, the liquid metal skinsuits of the Lethari, and the glowing bioframes of the Kishi cadets. She looked small, ordinary, human. Another human, churred Velzara, a mantis like Kishi whose translator rendered her amusement into lilting tones. Watch her fail the simulation with her species' famous inefficiency. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Humans were still new. 3 cycles since they'd joined the Galactic Coalition. Barely enough time to erase the stigma attached to their data files' short lifespans. Fragile bodies, primitive technology, a species that had almost wiped itself out with nuclear fire before stumbling into the stars. Kevin stood in the observation deck above, arms crossed, jaw tight. He'd tried to warn Hale before the assessment. Coalition combat evaluations weren't like Earth's exercises. They weren't designed to test courage or creativity. They tested measurable power. Hale had just smiled at him and said, "Let them underestimate us." The arena floor shimmered. Walls folded inward, reassembling into a jagged alien landscape under a toxic orange sky. Simulation loaded, environment Carx 4, threat classification. Level 9 death world. A murmur ran through the spectators. Carx 4 was infamous. Even Kroger shock troopers, 7-foot slabs of muscle and bone bred for war, treated it with respect. Acidic storms, unstable gravity wells, predators that evolved faster than most AI could adapt. The first wave appeared without warning. Razor spine hunters burst from the ground, elongated bodies covered in quills dripping neurotoxin. Their movements were erratic, designed to overwhelm targeting systems and panic prey. Several cadets leaned forward, waiting for the human to raise her pulse rifle too slowly, to freeze to die. Hale didn't run. She moved. Not fast in the way enhanced beings moved, not with blurring speed or psionic bursts. She flowed. Her boots found stable ground instinctively as gravity shifted. She angled her body, letting momentum work for her instead of fighting it. The first predator lunged. Hale sidestepped by centimeters and drove 2 fingers into a small, dull patch behind its forward sensory ridge. The creature collapsed midair, quills clattering uselessly against stone. Silence snapped through the gallery. "That's impossible," muttered Commander Thaxus, the Velcron instructor. His 12 eyes tracked across multiple spectrums, searching for hidden energy spikes. "Her readings are unchanged, 0. The second hunter attacked from behind. Hale dropped, rolled, and kicked upward, using the creature's own mass and speed to flip it over her shoulder. Its spine struck a rock outcrop at the wrong angle. Neck severed. The laughter died completely. "She's not enhanced," whispered a Dravic cadet. "How is she predicting them?" Hale wasn't predicting. She was observing patterns, weight distribution, muscle tension, the subtle pause before a strike. Concepts so basic that most advanced species no longer trained for them, trusting their augmentations to do the thinking. "This is a system malfunction," boomed Proctor Zen, a luminar entity whose gaseous form pulsed with agitation. "No unenhanced organism can sustain level 9 threat response." Kevin allowed himself a small smile. "Want to bet?" he said quietly. The simulation escalated. Level 12. The ground liquefied into semi-solid sludge. Toxic mist filled the air. Gravity spiked unpredictably. Environmental parameters designed to overwhelm biological limits. Hale adapted. She rerouted her suit's cooling system to reinforce joint mobility, vented heat through unshielded panels to create micro currents in the mist, and used gravity surges to slingshot herself across collapsing terrain. Not once did she access advanced suit protocols. She didn't need them. Level 15. The arena generated predators that hunted by sound and electromagnetic emissions. Cadets watched in disbelief as Hale went still, slowed her breathing, and moved only when necessary, turning silence itself into camouflage. Level 20. Even the instructors grew uneasy. This assessment was never authorized to go this far, Taxis said. Before anyone could stop it, the simulator deployed its final contingency. Warning: non-standard entity detected. The void Leviathan emerged. It was massive, partially phased into dark matter, its form flickering between states of existence. Conventional weapons passed through it harmlessly. Entire fleets had vanished encountering creatures like this in real space. The chamber went utterly silent. Hale stood still, head tilted slightly. 3 seconds. That was all she needed. She bent, picked up a rock from the simulated ground, and weighed it once in her hand. A rock. No guidance systems, no enhancements, no targeting AI. She watched. The Leviathan pulsed, its phase cycle irregular but not random. There, a fraction of a second where its core solidified to anchor itself to reality. Hale threw. The rock passed harmlessly through the creature's ethereal mass, then struck something solid no larger than a pebble at the exact microsecond it manifested. The void Leviathan collapsed inward, its form unraveling. The simulation froze. Every hologram shattered into cascading error symbols. Red lights flooded the arena. System rebooting. Access restricted. Earth protocols detected. Black level authorization required. Blast doors slammed down around the pit. Cadet communication devices went dark, all except one emergency channel that crackled to life across the chamber. Attention all Coalition personnel. An automated voice intoned. You have encountered a restricted species. Do not engage. Do not provoke. Earth protocols are now active. The message paused, then continued. A human has demonstrated Category 12 combat capability. This is not a drill. Fear rippled through the room in 100 biological expressions. Category 12. Taxis whispered. That classification doesn't exist. There are only 3 species rated above 4. Another instructor said shakily. Kevin descended from the observation deck, his boots echoing in the stunned silence. His own combat readout hovered beside him, 0 across the board. Category 12 isn't about raw power, he said calmly. It's about outcomes. Thaxis turned all 12 eyes wide. Your species is short-lived, physically fragile. Your technology is behind ours by millennia. Kevin stopped beside the sealed arena door. Hale stood on the other side of reinforced glass, breathing evenly, not a mark on her. Our technology is young, Kevin said, because we've only had it for a few thousand years. Our lifespans are short, so we don't waste time. And our bodies, he smiled. It wasn't friendly. Our bodies evolved on a death world, one where everything tried to kill us. Predators, diseases, natural disasters, other humans. We didn't get enhancements because survival came first. The emergency broadcast resumed. Black-level Earth protocols exist due to human pattern recognition, adaptive learning, and environmental weaponization capabilities. Humans demonstrate combat effectiveness independent of technology, psionics, or augmentation. Velzara's mandibles clicked nervously. 0 enhancement means 0 weakness, she whispered. Exactly, Kevin said. No systems to hack, no powers to dampen, no crutches to break. The blast doors began to unlock as senior coalition officials arrived, their expressions tight with alarm and something like awe. Hale's voice came through the intercom, calm, almost amused. We're not dangerous, she said. As long as you're not hostile. She stepped out as the doors fully opened, standing beside Kevin. The cadets instinctively leaned back. The coalition asked us to join as equals, Hale continued. And we meant it. But someone also asked our ancestors a question. She looked around the chamber, meeting eyes, lenses, and sensory arrays alike. What if they're not friendly? Her gaze was steady, ancient, patient. And we answered honestly, Silence followed, heavy and absolute. The cadets who had laughed sat very still. They understood now. 0 readings didn't mean 0 threat. Sometimes they meant the danger wasn't where you'd learned to look.